Um, when I believe in something, I go full blast, and I don't mess around, because these are formulations I use in my practice. And I'll share my screen here. I have a little presentation for you guys, and I'm going to try to keep it simple. Yet I also want you guys to get the nuts and bolts and the more complex part of this as well, because the more conviction you have in what I've seen work with people for over 18 years, you guys, you would be unstoppable. And so, like Dr. Chi said, I love everybody I met last weekend. It's phenomenal. I've never felt, this room full of very influential and helpful people with such little ego involved. I've never experienced that before. So I think we were blown away as much as everybody else was blown away with us, which is just awesome. Like you said, Dave, I met this guy, for the past 3 days. He is a freak, right? In a good way. He is a unique freak. Okay. And he is unstoppable. And I love it. Him at the helm. I think we all are very confident in what's about to happen. And, you guys are so far ahead of a lot of companies, to where these marriages that are being created right now, I believe it's going to be completely unstoppable and bigger than any of us can even imagine at this point. So I know that in my heart that it's going to happen. And I love that we're included in that to help that process occur. So I'm just here to serve you guys. Honestly, I'm an introvert. I don't enjoy doing these, but I realize I have to do these because we have a knowledge in our wheelhouse that nobody else has. I mean, you can't replace the experience and the stories and the impact I've seen with my patients and my family and everybody that we care about around us. Thousands and thousands of people, you guys. So that's why I'm here. I'm here to share and hopefully empower you guys to hopefully soon get to the confidence that we have, where you know that every human being needs what we have. That is not a sugar-coated fluff at all. Every human being, just like we all need air and oxygen and motivation and exercise and whatever else, we can't survive without enzymes. So this enzyme talk, it's very important. And a lot of people, they don't know what they don't know. So it's one of those things where it's not as simple as just talking about enzymes. That's why we have to kind of coach some of you guys in saying the right words, right? Because people will look at it, as you guys experience all the time, and they'll say, these are too expensive, or, oh, I already take probiotics, or whatever it is. It's bogus. I've heard every excuse. If you guys have some of those objections, just come to me. I'll try to answer your questions. I've heard it all a million times each. And we still get people to do them because of the conversation, kind of changing their mindset, changing the objections, actually covering the objections before they even tell you. You already know what they're going to say. There's 10 things they're always going to complain about. Cost, I don't like taking pills, I already eat healthy enough, I already take probiotics. Those are all horrible excuses. And we're going to teach you as we go through this process how to address those, because every human, if we screw that up, we can't help everybody. And every human literally needs this product, kind of like Emulin. And this is going to work so magically with Emulin, you guys. I am so excited. I can't use disease names, but if you saw what I see in my practice, I do blood work, we do hormone testing, we do food sensitivity testing, we do weight loss programs, we do neurofeedback, we do laser, we do chiropractic and physical therapy type things. So we've created a clinic that's basically a drug-free, surgery-free clinic to get people healthy. And this is one of our most powerful tools to do that. So we don't even know what's going to happen, honestly, when we start giving people enzymes, because we all need them, but the body's so complex that we don't even know what's going to happen in their body. So let me share my screen here. I'm going to throw up information on you guys. I'm going to vomit so much information on you right now. I hope that we have a recording for this so we can all look back at it. But I'm going to let loose here. Okay. And I'm going to be very careful with conditions and diseases and treatments of things. That's not what we do anyway. Let me just do a disclaimer here real quick. I don't want to treat something anyway. Nobody wants to treat anything. Well, some people do, but I think they just are confused on what that means. Treating something does not reverse that thing. Treating something does not get to the cause of that thing. And that's what we do. That's literally how I've designed my practice. I just got done seeing about 40 people. So I was getting real tired just today. We saw 40 people. We do that almost every day. I was getting a little tired by the end of the day. I have all these discussions with people all day long, and that's kind of more exhausting sometimes than something physical. But now seeing you guys on here, 80 people, hearing Dr. Chi talk. I love Dr. Chi. He's an amazing human. Seeing Bill on here, Bill, I look forward to meeting your wife too. And just everybody we've met along this very quick, short journey so far has been amazing. So we're so excited. So this is a little slide here I just wanted to talk to you about, how much time is left on your enzyme clock. Everybody on here is probably like, what the hell does that mean? So what does that mean? So we have a bank account of enzymes. Okay. If I become deficient in lactase, guess what problem I have? I'll have lactose intolerance, right? If I stop breaking down sugars properly, what problems will I have? Blood sugar issues. Maybe my A1C will go up. Sugar contributes to lowered immunity. Sugar contributes to inflammation. You name it, sugar contributes to it. Every disease process. So what would happen if I started breaking down these milk sugars we call lactose? What would happen if I start breaking down just all my macros from my meals, my proteins, my sugars and fats? Just pay attention to what your yearly blood work says, right? What's cholesterol? What's a fat? What happens if I start breaking down fat better? Well, my fats are lower, of course, so I can't claim anything, and we don't want to anyway. But your enzymes work like a bank account, and we're born with a certain supply, a certain bank account. Most of us are very poor when we're born with these enzyme bank accounts. So we're either contributing to that bank account or we're subtracting from it. It's very simple, right? It's like a bank. So what contributes to that bank account? Raw food. It's really that simple. When you heat something above 118 degrees, you denature the natural enzymes in that live food. So a banana sitting on the counter, if you leave it alone for long enough, it starts oozing out, it starts getting brown, liquid starts coming out of it, right? It starts getting really gnarly looking. That's the life of the food. This sounds hokey, I realize. I was pre-med 20 years ago. If you would have told me I was talking about this stuff 20 years ago, I would have thought you were a nutso. So it's the life of that food. And when you eat more things that have more life to them, which is really raw nuts, raw fruits, raw vegetables, raw sushi, right? Fish and things. There's other issues with heavy metals and stuff with that. But the more raw it is, the more enzymes there are. So I'm feeding that bank account. I'm putting money into that bank account. Now, the other side of things, most people, I know many people that literally eat no raw food at all. They're always subtracting from their bank account. So let me give you a very simple explanation, then we'll get into this. We're all born with a certain amount of lactase that breaks down lactose. And actually our human bodies, this is kind of crazy, produces lactase for the first 2 years of life. Your body produces it. Why does it produce it? Well, we need to drink mother's milk, right? Breast milk is very good for you. It's good for your brain and immune system and everything else. So that's why we produce it. So if you look at human physiology, we're supposed to drink milk from our mothers for the first 2 years, but then we switch over to cow's milk. Well, I'm not a cow. Cow's milk is actually designed to build big bodies, right? Like think of how big cows are. Their bones are strong. They have lots of muscle. So their milk is literally structured in a way. If you break it down, all the immunoglobulins and proteins and everything in there, it's designed to build big bodies. Does anybody think we have a big body problem in the United States or the rest of the world now? Absolutely. Why in the heck are we drinking things that build a big body? So breast milk is great though, but we produce the lactase for 2 years. After that, now, when we switch over to regular processed commercialized, this sounds crazy to some of you, I realize. I'll show you research, just reach out to me. We can have some good discussions. But when you drink this cow's milk, it's dead. First of all, it's cooked, it's pasteurized, it's homogenized. They take the fat and they do all these weird things to it. So all the fat, mixes in with it all. So it doesn't float to the top, right? People used to get milk delivered to their door and we saw the milk on the top and it looked kind of gross. So people didn't like that. So they homogenized it. So now it's all mixed together. And that's not a good thing. That's a different conversation. But I have that enzyme bank account with lactase. Now I switch over to cow's milk when I'm 3 maybe. The more dairy I have now from this point forward, my body's not creating lactase anymore, the sooner you're going to get to lactose intolerance. Does that make sense? You just keep eating that bank account away. That's not good. Okay. So how many people do you know have gallbladder issues, lactose intolerance, high blood sugar, high cholesterol? Those are all macros not being broken down properly. Okay, so that's what that means by how much time is left on your enzyme clock. It's a bank account. So real quick, I should have did this before that slide, but this presentation is meant for informational purposes only. It is not meant to diagnose, prevent, treat, or cure anything. Please speak with your healthcare providers regarding any changes to your health program. And the content here is solely the opinion of myself. All right, that's out of the way. So some people thought this was pretty funny because it's a point of this is you have to do things different. Our statistics for health are the worst they've ever been. Never in history have we been this sick. For the first time in history, our kids will not outlive us as parents. So this is my family. I just want to point this out because this will help you guys understand that I don't sell anything. I hate selling things. I think everybody on here hates selling things. We love sharing our favorite restaurants. We love sharing things with people. And who the heck are we to keep it to ourselves? If you have something that's going to help somebody you care about, if you're quiet about it because you're scared of what they're going to think or you're scared they're going to say no or whatever, shame on you. Shame on you. So my family, my kids have not used any medications yet, you guys. There's not been one medication in their bodies yet. I have not had a prescription in 18 or 19 years. My wife was told she would never have kids. Okay, so she had PCOS, endometriosis, and some other things going on. And I mean, those are just really blood sugar, metabolic syndrome, and hormone type issues, right? So we have 4 kids now, and she was told she would not do that. So I point that out. I usually share this with almost every time I present because it's important. I want people to know that we live and breathe this information. This is not a sales pitch. This is not some sort of thing I'm trying to get you into a weird gimmicky program or whatever. This is what we live and breathe, and it works well. So I talk about my family, but I can't talk about enzymes without talking about a couple of my friends here. So Sean and Ty, they're just amazing human beings, you guys. I've known them for a very long time. They've been in this space, back when this was voodoo and whatever else. And so I have to always give them credit when I do presentations as well, because they've allowed me to help thousands of people with these enzyme formulas, and they're essential. They're not just kind of a commodity or a luxury. They are absolutely essential. So you guys will hear more from them soon, but I want to give them a shout out. This is the first time in history, as I mentioned, our kids will not outlive us as parents. This was a theory back 10 years ago. It is a fact now, you guys. This is a disturbing, disgusting, huge problem that we've never experienced in history. Is that okay with anybody, that our lifespan, our kids will not outlive us as parents? Does that piss anybody off? It pisses me off. So if we don't speak up and start changing these habits and being weird, go out and do different things than the people around us, we're just part of the problem. We have to be different. You have to stand out and talk, speak up, and educate people with this stuff, because it's that important. This right here should drive you, and you should not care if anybody tells you no or tells you to go fly a kite or whatever. This right here, if you don't pay attention to this, shame on you. Okay. I don't really mean that, but I kind of do. So this is a chart of obesity, guys. So these red states, this is 1988. These are old stats, but you'll get the idea. It's much worse now. So the red states are 35% or more obesity in the United States, okay? This is crazy. So this is what, 10, 12? There's some little tiny states over here. 1988. I'm going to go to a slide next. It's only 12 years later, okay? 2000, year 2000. And it's 21 now, right? So picture the problem. That's 1988. There's about 10 states here. 12 years later, that is disgusting. We have a problem. What we are doing, what you're doing, what I'm doing, what our neighbors are doing, what our family members are doing, it is not working. That's why we have to be weird. That's why I say that, use that slide, let's get weird, because you have to be different. You have to be the weird guy. You have to, question what's in our food coming from a restaurant maybe, or you have to question ingredient labels. You have to question, am I exercising, properly? You don't want to do what everybody else is doing. All of these diseases, you guys, all of these diseases on here are not decreasing at all. There's not one disease that's actually decreasing right now. That's a problem. All right, so progress is impossible without change. And those who cannot change their minds cannot change anything. We have to start thinking differently, but it's so easy to get caught up in our habits, right? This is what most people eat, and they call it food. This is crap, you guys. So let me talk about 2 words. You guys have all heard this. There's nutritious foods and non-nutritious foods. That's bogus. That is not true whatsoever. Things are either contributing to your body and health, or they're subtracting from it. They're damaging your cells. It's that simple. It's either providing something to your body, or it's damaging your cells, and it's a stress on your body. This is not non-nutritious. This is damaging. This is what most people eat every single meal of every day. So in 1900 compared to 2010, we used to consume only 5 pounds of sugar per year. Now they say we consume our body weight or more in sugar every single year of our life. Okay, fats, 4 pounds a year. Now we consume 74. I'd be okay with that 74 if it was good fats, right? Avocados, raw nuts, olive oil, coconut oil, those types of fats are great for you. If that was 74 pounds of good fat, awesome, but it's not. It's trans fats, vegetable oils, and the things that aren't good for us. So here's the lactose intolerance one, right? 2 pounds a year back in 1900 of cheese. And that's not including milk and all the other stuff we do, yogurts and stuff. Now we consume 30 pounds per year, okay? This is part of the problem. I show you that just so you get a perspective. And I get this all the time. I eat healthy. I don't need to supplement. It is absolutely not true. It's completely untrue anymore, okay? So conventionally grown foods have 1/4 to half the minerals as organically grown. And this is even worse now, you guys. So spinach 40 years ago had like 10 to 20 times the amount of iron in it. They're very different. Even if you eat perfectly, organic even, You cannot get enough of what we need to have optimal levels. Now you can get RDAs, right? A recommended daily allowance is really just enough to keep you from getting scurvy or rickets, right? Who gets those anymore anyway? But these RDAs are not optimal amounts. You may need 10 to 100 times, depending on our physiology, depending on you, your habits, and our genetics. You may need 10 to 100 times the amount of an RDA of vitamin C or magnesium or whatever. So again, we have to supplement. It's impossible not to. More important than supplement is let's just at least get the nutrients out of the food I'm eating, because we're not really breaking those down properly. It's a very complex process for food to be broken down to the smallest molecule, like an amino acid from a protein, then to get absorbed into my body, then for my blood to take it to all the cells, my 10 trillion cells that remain in my body. It's a very complex process, and most people barely get through the first two steps because we don't have the enzymes. We don't have the proper stomach acid. How many people do you know that have heartburn? That's lack of stomach acid, not too much. I can explain that sometime to you. How many people have pancreas issues and gallbladder and all this stuff? It's a big problem. So let's at least unlock the nutrients in those healthy foods you're eating. That's what enzymes do. So the average diet contains on, 50% of most RDAs. And so it's a huge problem. So everybody is deficient in these. These are from the Haynes studies. Everybody's deficient in magnesium, copper, all of these. Again, we're not eating enough real food. So you can't tell me I eat healthy enough, and you don't need to supplement or take enzymes to unlock those nutrients from our food. Here's just one study. I just wanted to show you. Let's look at the calcium. Snap peas, the amount of calcium in snap peas. Let's do magnesium. Magnesium is more important than calcium, actually. So snap peas in conventional have about 14.8. And so I don't know what equivalent that is, milli equivalents, but organic has 60. So people say, well, is eating organic worth it? Absolutely. There's literally 2 to 10 times more nutrients. We're an overfed, undernourished society. Overfed, undernourished society. We're getting way too many macros, not enough nutrients. So absolutely organic is worth it, okay? So I'm not going to read all this, but basically in 1940 compared to now, it would take you 15 to 20 bowls of salad today, in this day and age, to equal what one bowl of salad did in 1940, you guys. 15 to 20 bowls. Who wants to go eat 15 to 20 bowls for dinner tonight? It's almost impossible, right? Unless you grind it all up and drink it maybe in a smoothie, but it's impossible. So enzymes, let's get into some of that. I realize I'm talking fast. I don't want to interrupt you guys' call that's in 13 minutes. So what is this? What is an enzyme? It's basically a protein substance, and it literally runs your whole body. These enzymes run your whole body. I'm going to keep this very simple. I don't want to complicate it, but I want you guys to understand there are some books I'm going to direct you to. There's a lot of information that you can look at and learn about these. And I don't guide you into those resources for you to know what we know necessarily. You will talk people out of taking them if you learn too much, right? We all know that keeping things simple is very important. Keep it on their level. I want you to understand this stuff, but you're not really going to explain this necessarily unless you kind of get good at it. But keep it simple, but I want you guys to have that conviction that we have and understand where these come in. So there's 3 types: metabolic, these run the whole body; digestive, and that's what a lot of people think we have, right? They're not digestive enzymes, you guys. Your body produces those. And then we have food enzymes. That is the category you want to supplement with, because it takes stress off your body. It takes stress off the digestive enzymes in your body. It takes stress off the metabolic enzymes in your body. So let me give you a different example. You rarely want to supplement with something your body produces. If I give Bill here, I do a blood test on him and it shows that his testosterone's low, maybe, for example. Well, guess what? I'm the hero if I just prescribe testosterone to him, right? Whether synthetic or bioidentical, it doesn't matter. His brain starts to say, oh, I have plenty of testosterone in my body. So understand how we got to this point. He wasn't producing enough testosterone. There was something going on with his organs or stress or whatever that got us to the point of prescribing him the testosterone. But now his brain says, I have enough. Those organs that were not performing properly before, right? Testes, adrenal glands, thyroid, hypothalamus, and pituitary gland, the whole hormonal pathway stops producing testosterone. Your brain says, I have enough. What happens if your brain says, I have enough muscle, and you go sit on a couch for 10 years? Use it or lose it, guys. If you're not using those organs that produce testosterone, those organs will get weaker, just like your muscles if you stop exercising. Digestive enzymes are no exception to that. Your body produces those. The whole point is to take stress off of these other 2 systems. There's over 5,000 enzymes discovered. All we have to do is create a really nice, comprehensive, full spectrum enzyme formula, which we have, with fermented enzymes. That's a game changer, you guys. I've used a similar formula for over 15 years. These new fermented enzymes that were enhanced in this product, freaking mind blowing. Four of you on this call, I think, actually had got testimonials in 24 hours after you were gifted some enzymes. They're phenomenal. They're blowing my mind away. We literally are getting testimonials every day from these fermented enzymes, enhanced enzymes that we've used forever. They're just crazy. I don't understand how they work so well, to be honest. So there's a lot of enzymes in your body. The point is to supplement with them, food-based, to take stress off every other system in your body, literally every other system. So real simple. Most products out there, this is a good thing to look at. You're going to have people bringing you papaya enzymes and all kinds of junk, you know, and they're okay. It's better than taking nothing probably, but you really need 2 stages of breakdown. I'm just going to cover one little simple concept here. Proteins are these big structures, right? Then we have these peptide links. If you break down the big protein, then you have these chains of amino acids. There's peptides, basically, peptide links. So you need 2 enzymes to break down a protein to the smallest form of the amino acid, which is important. That's how I can then utilize it and use and basically create whatever proteins I need now out of those amino acids. So you need protease to break down this into the links of peptides, okay? Then you need peptidase to break those links between the amino acids. Now I have the little amino acid. This is what your body needs. So the reason we say full spectrum, every stage of breakdown, it's because it gets it down to the smallest molecule that your body can now utilize. Again, taking stress off that. So I'm going to keep that simple, but you can see some of the things in there. So enzymes, this is a good book, you guys. This is called Enzyme Nutrition by Dr. Edward Howell. Every single one of you needs to read this book front to back, take notes, you know, highlight it, whatever you have to do. Study this more than you've studied anything else in nutrition ever. Anything you've ever studied in health, study it more than that, okay? So that's a good book, Enzyme Nutrition, but also Enzyme Factor. I forget the author of that one, but those two, if I had to pick one, I'm going to pick this one. They've proven over the years, over the decades, that when you run out of enzymes, you drop dead, basically. You don't function anymore. Think of it this way. Enzymes are more important than any vitamin or mineral you've ever taken. Those are kind of just things that are there. They're almost little building blocks, let's say. But you need the enzymes. They're kind of the catalyst that to create the chemical reaction in my body for my macronutrients and vitamins and minerals to actually do something. So it's kind of like having a whole pile of wood over here without having any fire on it ever. It's not going to do anything. It literally is not going to do anything without the enzymes in your body. That's why we say these are more important than anything that you've ever taken before. And when you run out of them, your life is literally inversely proportional to the rate of exhaustion of those enzymes. This is very important to understand. So Dr. Howell from Enzyme Nutrition. So he showed that basically you have a shortened lifespan without enzymes, enlarged overstimulated pancreas. You know, we can go into all this, you know, in much more detail, but just read the book, you guys, and then give it to everybody you care about. Anybody you care about and love, get them that book, make them read it. This is the most important nutrition book you will ever read, okay? So we all know, we know the brain's the second, you know, the gut's the second brain. All disease begins in the gut. This is not new information, but it's forgotten information. It's very important we start reminding people to go back to this, especially last year. How many sick people were there? How many scared people were there? I mean, this is so important. Our gut is our second brain. We have to nourish it, and we can just deal with our environment so much better, you guys. Every disease, I'm going to make a statement here. It's not a medical claim. Every disease you've ever heard of, you can tie back to the gut in some way or some form. That's a bold statement, I realize, but once you start studying this stuff, you will realize everything. If I don't absorb nutrients from my food, how long am I around? Not very long. It's just like oxygen. You know, you can't live without oxygen for much shorter time, but everything that you've ever heard of can be tied back to the gut in some way or some form, okay? So Enzyme Nutrition, that's a picture of the first version. I think there's a third one that's out now. They're all really similar. If you can find this one cheaper, it's totally fine. And then I'm going to circle this one right here, the Enzyme Factor by Hiromi Shinya something. I'm not sure what the name is there, but the Enzyme Factor and Enzyme Nutrition, okay? There's lots of books out there, but those are the two of my favorites. So people say, well, you know, I'm dealing with this issue or whatever. I have this disease or this condition. It doesn't matter. Until your brain stops working, you never stop trying to heal. Your body's always trying to heal. And this is pretty amazing, guys. The reason we can get such good results with this, the reason you will change so many freaking lives if you understand how to start this conversation with somebody, is this right here. We all learn in biology that a red blood cell lasts about 120 days, right? Everything has a half-life. All tissues take a certain amount of time to regenerate. But this is crazy. In a year, you almost have a brand new physical body. 98% of the cells in your body a year from now were not there the previous year. Your stomach is every 5 days, guys. Your physical stomach in our bodies right now was not there 6 days ago. The cells have literally died off and been replaced with new cells. What am I building those new cells with? That's a big question. Am I building a house with crappy building materials or really nice building materials that are protected and coated and covered? Obviously, we know the answer to that. So it's pretty cool. You can change, anybody can change their health, right? Have you ever met somebody and they maybe had a big life event happen and they, maybe they lost their wife. Maybe they're in their 50s or 60s, they lost their wife. I'm going extreme here. Let me pull at your heartstrings a little bit. So this person loses their wife, okay, or husband or whatever. Then, I don't know, they just have some realizations. They're like, you know what, I'm going to start exercising. I never have before. I'm going to start eating healthy. I've never done that before. I didn't even know how to do that. They start taking supplements. They start eating healthy. They start setting goals. Just picture that person before that happens. Maybe they're overweight. Maybe they're tired all the time. Maybe they have some, abnormal blood work, whatever. But then they start changing these habits and you don't see them for a whole year after they start that journey. Will they look different when you see them in a year? Of course, we've all seen those weight loss shows where they can transform people in 90 days and stuff. Stop making excuses. Don't let people give you excuses. It's bogus. It's our excuses and that's all they are, but it's ridiculous. You can change so many things in the body because of that last slide. So one whole food, you want to absorb whole foods, of course, right? I still take enzymes with raw food because that's how deficient we are. So just one whole food, one apple, you guys, there's over 300 phytonutrients in an apple that are good for you. It's crazy, right? Most vitamin bottles have, maybe, 50 things on it, right? If you pick up a general multivitamin from the store, a synthetic one, typically it's going to have 50, maybe 100 things. One apple has over 300 things that are good for you. We want things in micro doses, in lots of different things in micro doses, not a few things in really high doses necessarily. So I just show that to you because, again, we want to unlock those nutrients from our food. That's what enzymes do. It helps break that down. So back to the banana, the enzymes make it, all gnarly. That's the life of it. It's changing. If I cook that same banana, those enzymes aren't there. It's going to sit on the shelf a lot longer, right? You killed it. It's dead. There's no more life to that, okay? Your health is an investment, you guys. If you saw our bill for my family and my 4 kids and myself and my wife, the amount of supplements and organic food and, our gym equipment, everything that we do to keep ourselves healthy, it's crazy what we spend on that stuff. But guess what? I haven't been to a medical doctor in 18 years. I'm not saying don't go to medical doctors, of course, but when you take charge of your health, do I need other people to intervene in that? No, your body runs at homeostasis. So obviously go to the doctor if you have an emergency and have health issues, but you guys get the point of this, right? So it's much more expensive to not do that. So I want to leave you with this, you guys. You must unlearn what you've been programmed to believe since birth. This is the most important thing that I talk to people about. We have to let go of our beliefs, our conditioning, especially last year. I think a lot of us learned this. And we've been programmed to some degree. A lot of us don't realize it until you realize it, but we've been programmed. So you must unlearn what you have been programmed to believe since birth. That software no longer serves you if you want to live in a world where all things are possible. Be weird, you guys. Think differently. Do different things. We need to change the fact that our kids will not outlive us as parents. If that doesn't fire you up, you're a lost cause. I don't know what to tell you, but we have to go out, meet more people, share Valentis, share enzymes, share all the other phenomenal products, and make a change, you guys. So I'll leave you with that. I appreciate you guys letting me come on here and rant a little bit. Everybody have an amazing evening. I love you all. Look forward to meeting some of you in the future here. Bye-bye.